I think a YouTuber is someone who has a story to tell.
Deep. Do you want to just put a flower crown on now?
I think people who are on YouTube are people who are motivated enough to want to do things without anyone telling them to have to do it. So like if you're in school, you have projects to do because you're giving projects, but for YouTube, you make it because you want to make it, and I think that's what kind of unifies all of us, is that we're all kind of motivated and talented and good looking.
I think you've got to have like a certain arrogance as well to sort of believe that what you have to say is worth even 2 minutes of someone's time, certainly like half an hour of someone's time. I've got to believe that what I have to say is worth half an hour of your time, and that makes me an arrogant arsehole.
I think it is people who aren't getting, like, I think, yeah, YouTube was started by people who aren't getting their fix of attention in the real world. And they like, need more attention. Because that's certainly why I was there. I'm socially rubbish. Like, I come to this thing, and I'm at home, like, beating you guys. But if when we go to these, like, YouTuber parties, I have no idea what to do. I am rubbish at it. I go back to my room and have a nap.
How many of you guys watching have a YouTube channel or make YouTube videos?
So you already know that. You know the sort of people at YouTube.
It kind of now feels like we've spent the last 5 minutes insulting everyone. You're welcome. Anyway, we'll move on to the next question then. So, are the fangirls, I'll put this one first to Ben. Are the fangirls, who here is a fangirl? And it's a good thing that you feel like that, because often people think that that's a bad thing. And so, Ben, are the fangirls ruining it for everyone? Now that you're in a room of them.
See their faces.
No. Look them in the eye and tell them you hate them.
I think what a lot of creators perhaps find a bit difficult is that they'll make a video, something they've worked really hard on. Something they've worked really hard on, they'll have something to say, and then what many people perhaps focus on in the comments is your hair, or a kiss, or something. I think if people get enjoyment from my videos, whether it's because of something I've said, or whether it's because of my red hair, or whether it's because of a joke, that's sort of fine. I don't really like, in real life, I don't really like dictating to someone what they should or shouldn't get from something. I understand the frustration, but I'm fine with it. I'm fine with the fact that.
I think you would. Sorry, who was talking over someone?
Yes.
Oh, go on. I'm sorry. Go. You go.
I think the fangirls pay your bills, so... I mean, a lot of people like to complain that they don't like the attention they get, or that they get the wrong kind of attention, but a lot of the same people, if they didn't have that attention, would be whining about it more, and also not be able to eat food, so...
I think it's interesting that when you ask the question, you've asked two questions to the audience: how many people have a YouTube channel, and how many people are fangirls? Like, there was the same number of hands both times, but the fangirl question had like 5 times as much noise that happened. Like, it's pretty much the truth that the people, like, I guess like 5% of the people on YouTube make 95% of the noise on it. Like, the comments that you get are from the same people, and you get to know people. So I don't think fangirls are like, I think there always seems like there are way more fangirls than there actually are. You're so good at making yourself seem so prevalent.
And also, I think it's quite important to notice that, as you said, there is a similar amount of hands for the two, and that there isn't this split between a fangirl and a creator. And the people who I mean, I was obsessed with Amazing Phil for 3 years before I started making YouTube videos, and it kind of, there's no dividing line between the two, and I think that's quite
I agree with that, actually, because like a lot of us made friends with each other because we were fangirls of each other.
Yeah.
Like that's how we did it. Like, it was I like your stuff, and I would like to be your friend, please.
There is actually a video. My first fanboy crush was Chris Kendall.
Oh.
And I remember when I got his number, there's actually a video that he goes, "I've got a question from Dean Dobbs." Well, my first thing is, please stop ringing me.
It still goes on today.
I don't think the fangirls do ruin it. I think that they are in no way like a threat. Like, I think it's just a necessary part of the ecosystem. But I'm sorry, I shouldn't talk about you like that. That's really horrible. I think the way it is you can let the fangirls ruin it for you by being in a way too perfect. I think if you put like your best foot forward all the time on YouTube, this overwhelming pressure to keep being perfect will crush you. But if like I just remind my audience constantly that I'm shitty, like I do my secondary channel videos, where I'm like, hi, I'm shit, and I do have fangirls and fanboys, but they treat me more like a human. So when I screw up, they're like, it's fine. They're like, oh, you screwed up, you're not perfect, and it's not a surprise anymore. So I think the fangirl, I think what fangirls mean is like this pressure to be perf all the time.
But it's good to be held to account.
Perf, totally, and comforts.
I think
You've got to be a walking gift at all times.
I think so-called fangirls are an incredibly loyal and avid audience. That's what I would argue. But also, can we define a fangirl?
Yeah, I think fangirl is a term for any.
It's a stupid umbrella term because like you're not like a mass of people who are all a fangirl. Like it seems like that when people are running after someone down a corridor, but obviously individually fangirls are just people who are excited about a content creator. So I really hate calling people fangirls under the umbrella because it's just a crowd of enthusiastic people. And sometimes crowds get out of hand, and I've seen it happen, and it's very unfortunate. And that's not great. But again, I don't think you should be like, that's fangirls. That's just, you know, a particular crowd on a bad day. So, yeah.
I think maybe it's actually quite nice. Like a fangirl is actually probably, like you said, a definition. It's probably a much nicer thing of just someone who love you unconditionally, regardless of what you do. And like there's people who go, oh, you could upload something, and people would watch it. And those people are the most loyal people. So in a sense, they're actually the nicest people, and they have this horrible kind of term to them.
But unconditional love terrifies
That's
me.
scary. That's not a good thing.
You need an audience that holds you to account.
Yeah.
And I think that's...
You should be held accountable for the bad stuff you do.
That's where I'm slightly more terrified of the fangirl sort of culture. It's that just loving someone no matter what. And I think we all need to be encouraged, every creator needs to be encouraged to keep striving to be better and better in what they say and what they do and what they make. And I think if you find yourself in a situation where you know that whatever you upload, most people will love it, that's
not challenging.
It's not challenging. Are you suggesting that a fangirl wouldn't say, oh, I don't like this, they'd like everything you do no matter what? Because we'll have comments being like, oh, I'm a big fan of your stuff, but this video was boring, I'm just going to put it out there, or this video was like scratch. So does that make them not a fangirl?
No, yeah. But you know that if you put up a video that you put very, very little work into, you'll get a huge chunk of your audience still going, this was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I find that actually really disheartening.
And that's, yeah.
Because it devalues the things they put like loads and loads of effort into.
I mean, if you know that you're going to get the same reaction for a video that you guys have worked really, really hard on for a long time and put a lot of effort into writing and directing and the editing on, so if you're just tossing something out there, that's depressing.
This is all depressing. Okay. The audience on YouTube are a lovely community.
Okay, can we all at least agree that the fangirl noise is the worst sound in the world? It's the scariest noise. I don't know. I can't. I've thrown my voice. So I'm talking too much. But like a noise that is like evolutionary designed to like warn off and ward off predators. Screaming. Why did that become a thing that we now do things we like? What if it applies to everything? Like, it's a nice sandwich. It's mad. It's the scariest sound.
Next question. Well, I think we'll just finalise by saying, are the fangirls ruining it for everybody? Answer the question.
No.
Just some people.
Some of them, yeah.
Individual, just you.
You in the hat. Fuck you, Stacey.
Is there a Stacey in this room?
Nice!
Thank you for taking that one for us. Moving on from being horrible to Stacey. So continuing with the kind of theme of sadness, is it ever a good idea to reply to a hate comment?
It depends how you define hate though, because hate is, I think, kind of a blind, trying to piss someone off thing, whereas criticism is a very different thing. And also, yeah, I don't know, criticism is something that could be constructive or questioning something that you've done in your video, and I think sometimes it's okay to reply, because it's good to have dialogue, and it's also good to defend the things you've done. Like your art doesn't stand on its own. Like sometimes you have to wade in and have discussions about it. So it's not a good idea to respond to blind negative hate that's kind of nothing to do with the actual.
Oh, you are gay.
Yeah, it depends what the hate is.
Yeah.
They're really commenting on your content and giving you kind of constructive criticism, then that's good to get involved with that and like talk back to the people that watch your videos. But yeah, it's just ridiculous, like penis.
Well, I think like the comment section is as much of a forum for the creators as the video is often. I mean, you get like top comments, the creators' comments are always put at the top. So if someone does leave a particularly ignorant hate comment, like they're never good. They're just sort of trolling. They're just going around. They're just saying dumb stuff. But if you have like a genuinely witty or interesting retort to it that other people will then see and look at, like I always like to sort of reply humorously to those things. Then people like thumb it up, and it's a nice little interaction.
What, do you think it's ever a good idea to reply to a like hate comment?
I don't think it's a good idea necessarily to reply, but you can respond in your own way, as if like, okay, if someone's hating on your content, why they're hating on it, and in your own way you can respond on adapting the content, or like that's the amazing thing about YouTube, is you can see what your audience is saying, and then try and work out why they're saying it. In relation to TV, where it's just kind of blind, like there's a fourth wall there.
It's like a feedback then. Like
Yeah,
it's like a review, like thousands.
Feedback's interesting in any form, but I don't know whether you should necessarily reply to it or respond.
I think sometimes you have, I think, got to have.
Yeah.
I think you've got to have enough confidence as a content creator.
Louder. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Is that okay? Can you hear that? I think sometimes you've got to have enough confidence as a content creator to know when your audience is wrong. And it's important to be held to account, but as creator, it's important sometimes, it is important for me to do things that will push an audience and will challenge an audience and give an audience what they want, but what they didn't know they wanted. And so sometimes you've got to know when you know better. It kind of comes back to that arrogance thing, really. I think if you're putting yourself out there, you've got to kind of think, you've got to have a certain arrogance to know, I know what the audience wants, and I'm going to give it to them and hope that I can persuade them.
I agree with that, because I think you can apply that to a lot of different things, not just YouTube. Like when it comes to movies and sequels, like people will go, you know what I liked in Star Wars? Lightsabers, more of them. Oh, that was shit, wasn't it? Yeah. So let's do it again differently. Like it's just like giving something that they want. They don't necessarily want it, so they want it in small doses, and then they want everything else as well.
I mean, imagine the videos we'd get if we all listened to what our audience wants.
Oh, God.
You just be there with your shirts off every video.
Get a lot of views, though.
Get a lot of views. You can have that one for free. Yeah.
If I listen to my audience, they would just be like, oh, Justin Bieber explodes and then a banana. That's everything that would come out.
Your audience sounds really weird.
You want it, don't you, Tom?
I did this to them.
Good. But yeah, no, I do think it's definitely true. Sorry, do you want to move on?
No.
Okay, cool. If we're limited for time, I can
Continue.
Thanks. Thank you, Luke. No, I forgot what I was going to say, go on.
I bet the only time you should reply to a hate comment is when you've got a good joke. So,
well,
someone goes, your hair's shit, and you're like, oh, sorry, it took me ages to reply to this because I was trying to climb out the big pile of money I've got.
And the way I
don't
always
have
try
any
to
money.
the way I always try to look at it is that a comment it does you some good, regardless if it's a horrible comment or a good comment. It does you some good in terms of YouTube and also in terms of feedback and everything. So I try and take everything to heart, and sometimes it's very difficult to ignore the hate. Like one hate person, like I was watching someone upload a video a few days ago, and it had 4,500 likes and then 20 dislikes. And he was like, well, what did I do wrong? And I just think that's ridiculous.
You gave me that piece of advice, actually, because when I sort of started uploading videos, what I would do is I might get like 20 people saying or tweeting me how fantastic that was, and the one person who then tweeted me saying that was shit was the one I'd reply to and start an argument with. And I know it's very easy as a creator to sort of get hung up on the one person out of every 20 or out of every 100 who is being a bit of a knobhead. But I now try to, at least if I have to, if I can't resist the urge to reply to that hater, I'll then balance it out by replying to several people who've said nice things.
Or it's good to reward people who actually like your stuff,
yeah, exactly.
rather than just going to, because otherwise people are going to start putting hateful things just to get your attention,
sure, yeah.
And that's not a good idea at all.
You should stop doing that, Jack.
Yeah. I want your attention, Ben!
Yeah, they hate because they know it'll get a response. Like that's the thing. That's one of the main reasons, because they know it'll provoke a reaction from someone, and they're not getting enough attention, so they'll just post something shitty, and then, like, if not you, then hundreds of your fans will reply to them. And that's giving them what they want. So,
yeah, especially if you put a dot at the start.
I think the best thing to do is, and it is lame, if it is just someone who's clearly just trying to get a response, sometimes it's best to just remove their comment. Not disable all comments, but something like that.
I didn't realise you could do, again, Luke pointed this out to me, I didn't realise you could remove comments until about 3 months after that.
How slow are you?
I know. Then I went mad.
Benjamin Cook is the figurehead for the next generation of YouTube, and he doesn't even know he can delete a comment.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, we'll move on to the last question, and we'll open it up.
Can I say one more thing about that?
Really?
Sorry. Oh,
Yeah.
no. Well, do any of you guys watch PBS Ideas channel? Do any of you guys know about that? I think that's like a paragon of like how to interact with an audience, because they pick out the most intelligent, thoughtful comments, and then they reply to them really thoughtfully and interestingly as well, and they actually engage with their audience in a way that I don't see anybody else doing. And I really like to do that. I really like to encourage like not just positive feedback, but genuinely thoughtful, interesting feedback. And since I started doing that a few months ago, so many more people have started actually engaging with my content and being actually curious and interesting and thoughtful about it. And it's so great.
Good. So we're going to move on to the last question, and probably the biggest questions that have ever come out of becoming YouTube. And then we'll move on to a question and answer session in which you can be mean to us all. So I'll put this one to Lex first. Who's to blame for the gender gap on YouTube?
Benjamin Cook. The answer's, well, it's deeply ingrained patriarchal structures. So, I think it's a lot to do with how women are taught to present themselves and what's acceptable, and you know, men are generally taught to be like to put themselves out there and to be confident, and that's not something that tends to be encouraged in women so much. I think it's probably also a lot to do with, you know, hate. It comes in different forms, and for a lot of women it's like sexually threatening hate, and I'm sure plenty of men get it too, but when you live in a world where you're sexually harassed constantly, or like most women are sexually harassed, most women, like a lot of people have been assaulted, and when you're getting barrages of messages about people actually wanting to sort of, you know, commit bodily harm to you, it's easy to take it a lot more seriously when you're used to getting that kind of thing in the world, so that's another thing that's kind of discouraging, generally. Yeah, stuff. Good. I feel like you guys probably have something to say about it. It's going to argue with everyone, so go.
So sorry, the question, who is to blame for the gender gap?
Yes,
Stacey.
Sort it out, Stacey. Sorry, shall we like to respond to that seriously this time?
I need a minute.
Okay. Ben.
I was saving that one up, I was so excited.
Let's go to Dean.
9 escape routes.
Dean.
I think like gender gap, I think that you can analyse it and stuff like that. Like I think it's different for everybody who wants to make things, but also it's not new for there to be more of a girl audience and less of like more of a female audience. Like look at the Beatles. The Beatles were mad. Like One Direction now as well, obviously. See? Like the Beatles had mega fangirls, and now the One Direction have mega fangirls. It's just more. For some reason, it's more common for girls to be fans than it is for them to be.
Well, yeah, I think that goes back to the passivity and the activity thing, though. Like you're taught to be passive or you're taught to be active, and women tend to be taught to be passive by most people. So I think that's why. I mean, that's not necessarily why there's this kind of fangirl thing, but that is another reason why there's not so many creators. Or I mean, there are. That's the thing. We were talking about this at Becoming YouTube. Where are all the female YouTubers? How many of you are female YouTubers in here? Yep. There you are.
Is there though, it's not that there's more of a female audience on YouTube, is there? I don't think that's the case. Because if you look at Smosh and PewDiePie, some of the biggest channels in the world, like they've got more male demographics. I think it's probably because females, as in terms of an audience, are more avid. Like they're more likely to like put it on Twitter, and put it on Facebook, and share it at a slumber party or whatever it is. Whereas a guy will be like, oh, yeah, that's a cool video, and then like not really do anything with it. So I think they're more inclined to like grow that channel.
Also, I think the age of the guys that are watching videos like Smosh and PewDiePie they're quite young, aren't they? So they're interested in like females at that age. I don't know. Is it an age of the audience thing?
Girls aren't interested in males at that age.
Not interested in me.
No one's
No.
No one's interested in you, Tom. Ben, would you like to respond to this?
Yeah, I think what I did find quite surprising as a result of, I did an episode of Becoming YouTube, which you'll probably know about this gender gap that exists. An awful lot of people then responding, telling me that it didn't exist. There were like just been said, there were lots of girls on YouTube, which is true. There are lots of girls doing some fantastic stuff on YouTube. The problem is that they are not as popular overall.
But that's
as
also not
other
true.
guys. Well, it's
Because you just discount beauty gurus. This is the thing that was really frustrating about Becoming YouTube, because there's nothing wrong with being a beauty guru, and everyone makes fun of them.
Equally, I didn't dismiss the makeup gurus. If you want to be a successful girl on YouTube, becoming a makeup guru is a tried and tested route, and it works, and there are lots of successful makeup gurus who are doing fantastic stuff. What interests me is the gender gap that exists with the rest of YouTube.
Why are they counted as a separate? Because I understand why you would separate. No, let me talk. I understand why you would separate things like gaming channels if it's a thing that's, copyrighted material with someone talking over it. But a lot of people say, well, we don't count gaming channels because that's, gaming, and we don't count beauty channels because that's, beauty. But with beauty channels, it's people creating content. It's all original content they're creating. Like, none of it is just like, even a review, like, they're talking about their opinions and they're talking about what they like.
Sure.
That's exactly the same.
That still happens on gaming channels.
I'm not discounting that, but the same reason that there wasn't an episode of Becoming YouTube called Boys on YouTube. It's because they're already doing quite well.
Yeah.
Now, for makeup,
But you
if you want to be
made
a
Charlie
girl,
is so cool likes in your documentary. You're saying he's not doing well? Did you ever have people in your documentary that weren't doing well?
It's not worth doing an episode of Becoming YouTube devoted to men on YouTube. In the same way that when I'm looking at girls on YouTube, we can talk about the successes of the makeup gurus. Of course we can.
But they
what's
should have
more
been in the
interesting-
original lineup. Why weren't they in the lineup? When you say, because you said you chose people for Becoming YouTube that were representative of the top 100. Why did you look at that top 100, which is full of beauty gurus, and go, these people aren't going to be in my documentary?
Yeah,
we haven't been right so far. What's your problem?
I think why do we need to, there's nothing wrong with makeup gurus at all, but don't you think there's a problem with encouraging girls that if they want to be popular on YouTube, they have to be makeup, they have to do beauty?
People don't just have to do that.
That's what I'm saying though, there's
But that
nothing
doesn't
wrong
mean
with
that
it.
they don't, that doesn't mean that their content isn't valuable.
Why aren't there more female filmmakers, stuff like that? That's what we're trying to say.
It was only 5 or 6 years ago that the first female won the Best Directing Oscar. And to say that's kind of, well, that's okay. Girls can do exactly what they want. If they want to just work in makeup and win
That's
Oscars
the thing
for
though,
that, that's fine.
just work in makeup. Why is it just work in makeup? Is it because it's something that's historically associated with
I just do comedy scenes. Or, let me rephrase that, solely work in makeup. Don't you think it's a problem that we're not encouraging more
Yeah, I think
female
that's definitely a
filmmakers?
problem, and I think that, but I also think that by cutting out people, why weren't they in the lineup when you first picked out all the people? Because look, there are many people on this panel do
It's a
different
very,
things.
it's a very community-based thing. Like, it's not like the beauty gurus don't actually really play any part in the YouTube community.
That's
that
not
much.
true.
Well,
They're everywhere.
well, actually, you know what? You know what? Actually, you're completely right. I take that back. I actually know very little about this. I'm going to completely shut up about it. I'm so sorry.
Completely untrue. They're a huge part of the UK community. I'm sure they're a huge part. I'm sure plenty of people here are here to see beauty gurus as well. Like, people love beauty gurus. They're a huge part of Vidcon. I just think that that's all crap.
I mean, that's fine, but again, what we're trying to say is, and what Ben's point was in the episode was, if you want to be a girl on YouTube, don't feel like you have to do something as makeup, because isn't makeup completely associated with girls in such a kind of cringy way that it's you have to put makeup on? Why would girls have to come on YouTube and keep having to present that? Why would I keep having to present the fact that you have to wear
But I
makeup?
don't think any beauty guru feels like they have to. It's something they enjoy, so
Sure,
they do it.
yeah.
But I don't think that including beauty gurus in Becoming YouTube would have been saying you can only be successful if you do beauty, because there were other girls included that weren't beauty gurus. I'm just confused as to why that was singled out as a thing that doesn't really count.
Well, it wasn't.
And it was.
No, it wasn't. It was looked at.
I feel like, okay, I feel that by not including any beauty gurus in the lineup, you were kind of discounting them and saying they're not part of the UK community, they're not part of the YouTube that I'm
But
interested
do
in.
you feel the same that I didn't include any animators or any gamers?
You did include, Tom does animations and stuff.
Tom's a producer, he's not an animator.
But everybody here does slightly different things.
Sure.
Like that, I would
by
say Tom's
large-
channel
by
is majority animation, so to me,
Yes.
I would say he's an animation channel. So I feel like you had a mix of a few different genres, but not really.
But you cannot, in a documentary that's just 12 parts and about YouTube, where everything is on YouTube. I mean, there is a whole genre of YouTube video which is people taking apart washing machines and then putting them back together again. And it's huge and it's popular, and I'd encourage you to go and check that out because it's mind-bogglingly awesome. But there is not an episode on the people who take apart washing machines and put them back together.
But they're not in the top 100. It's very unlikely that they're a large proportion of the top. Because I'm only bringing that up because I don't think that you measure success by whether or not people are in the top 100. But you said that you chose a cross-section of people representative of that top 100, which I keep bringing up, but that's just why I think they should have been included.
Not really, and I didn't quite say that because the lineup for Becoming YouTube was the people who.
You knew.
But well, partly it was people I know because it's a series that I was making, and I'm based in London, in the UK, and there's no budget for Becoming YouTube, so it's partly dictated by that. That's again why it needed to be a very UK-centric series, and it's giving massive amount of preference to the bloggers and filmmakers, because I think that's probably the most it's certainly the area which interested me most.
Okay.
And I think the most people had the most to talk about. Now I think there could potentially be a whole 12-part series just devoted to makeup gurus, but I'm not sure I'm the person to make that.
Okay. Well, I disagree with what you're saying.
all right.
But then we're never going to agree, so let's just shake hands. Good luck.
So I think we'll open up the talk to questions from the audience now, as we are approaching 1 o'clock. No.
Of 30, 40 awesome female YouTubers you should check out, which was awesome, and that was great. But why didn't you do that before that episode of Becoming YouTube? And sometimes I think you just need something a little bit controversial to give other people a push. And that's what it was.
I hope that goes some way to answering the question. It's quite a difficult question, but thank you for the panel for that. So anyone else got a question?
Can we get is there a microphone for the audience at all?
This is quite long.
No,
Shall I
okay.
go down?
We'll have to repeat any questions that we get then.
This is quite long. Shall I go down?
Yeah, go on.
If you can, how long is it? Is it?
Don't try.
Oh my.
We'll try this. See how far I can get.
This is going to be funny.
Fall over when he gets to the end. You're just gonna
I think this is it. So,
Do you want to come over here?
Yeah, but we should get a queue down the middle or something of, I don't know.
what's your name?
Carlin? Hi.
You like to ask a question?
Yeah.
Hello.
Okay. Okay, sorry, I have to...
Are you taking a picture?
Are you vlogging this?
Do that,
She's a female YouTuber.
I made a video with you guys back in March at Playlist Live.
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember.
Okay, anyways, I was wondering, like, if you wanted to collaborate with a certain YouTuber, how would you, like, get a hold of them? Do you just, like, go out to them and be like, hey, let's make a video, like, or, like, tweet them? Like, how do you get them to see that you want to work with them?
That's a really good question, and that is one of the tricky things with YouTube, especially when you're starting, is how do you get in contact with other content creators? And honestly, the best tool is Twitter, but I'm hoping that someone will develop something better, where you can connect with other people, and I think I've heard of some platforms that are being worked on. But that is tricky. You've just got to follow them on Twitter and just bug them until they reply. How did you end up collaborating with us?
I flew in from the Philippines to see you too.
How did we end up actually making a video though?
Okay, so like after the Q&A session, the guy pushed me out, and he was like, Jack and Finn are nowhere. They went to go eat lunch. Leave them alone.
Oh.
And I was like,
And you didn't.
I was like, he was like, just leave them alone, go away. I was like, you know what, fuck this, I'm going back to my hotel. And then all of a sudden I went to get a soda and turned around like, Finn, Harry? Harry, right there? And then they're like, oh my God, Colin, we've been looking all over for you. And I was like, holy shit. Aries twins, and then all of a sudden Louis comes out of the room and I didn't know what to do.
but it was that attitude, like you're determination for an answer,
Yeah.
exactly. It's the determination. I think everyone in this room, like they were saying earlier, when we started YouTubing, like we'd look at other creators and we like admire massively. And it's like, I am going to get through to this person, whether it's like tweeting them every bloody day or whatever, you know, or flying in from somewhere. I mean, that's crazy, thank you very much. You know, it's that dedication, absolute dedication. So, yeah.
See,
I actually don't know if I agree with that.
see, yeah,
I don't think I do.
I think I want to shout you out. Nelson. Yeah, tweeting can be helpful, but you can just kind of get lost in a noise. I think, I mean, for me as a large YouTuber, when I want to collaborate with someone, I just yell at them. In any way, if I favourite someone's video, I can just kind of play the waiting game until they message me going, thanks for favouriting, and then I go, now you're mine. But if I wanted to collaborate with a big YouTuber, I would get their attention for a video, because that's what they're doing, that's what I want to do, and if we want to work together on that thing, that's the thing I want to do. So I would make a video response to them, like kind of like showing off my skills of what I had to offer in a way. You know, if say I was a smaller VFX YouTuber that wanted to work with me, I would do a video response to one of my videos showing off your stuff, because I'm going to be like, that's awesome, let's be best friends. So I think the best way to work with a YouTuber is to make a video. Not just saying, hi, I love you, I want to work with you, just showing off what makes you awesome. Or, yeah, I mean, most of us watch video responses and will respond to a video response, I think, more likely than a tweet, personally.
Can I make a suggestion?
Go for it.
Hello.
I think personally, I do a lot of music production, and I'm here because my brother, he has his own channel and everything, so. Personally, when I do collaborations with other artists, if somebody wants to hit me up with an idea, I like more when somebody already has an idea and says, hey, you would be perfect for this opportunity. Like,
I agree. Yeah.
You're good at this, I'm good at this.
Yeah.
I'm just like, hey, can we do something together?
So
once you have a plan already, like, hey, this is my plan for you, whether it's through video, email, or whatever, I think that's a better idea to already have something set up.
yeah. That's
a really good
absolutely a great point. I mean, I think that's it. Like, all YouTubers want to do is make good content. So if you have something to offer to them, like a reason as to why you think you could make better content together, then that's all the YouTuber cares about. Like, I think we said that at talk you were out, I don't know where you've gone, but it's not about, you don't look at their subscribers and go, yeah, they've not got enough subscribers, we're not going to collaborate together. Obviously that helps you be seen, and that's the point some of you are making, is how can you get your stuff seen by the other content creator. But if you have something to offer, like a plan for the video, or you know, some clever thing you can do together, then that's what the creator is going to look for, because at the end of the day we always want to make better videos.
That's why I think anyone... That's why I think anyone...
Yeah. Okay, so if we go on to another one. I think people kind of becoming YouTubey, or not? Okay, those then. Somebody, question.
In, but I think a lot of people might click on a thumbnail of one of Jack and Finn's videos, and that's how they'll start watching. But to maintain an audience, which is what they've done, they have to have more than that. They have to have something to say. They have to be filmmakers, which is what they're doing. It helps to get people in, of course it does. I think it'd be silly to deny that it doesn't.
I agree with you. I think that's the way to solve it, Ben. I think that, like, if you're a good-looking person, you can get an audience, and even if you don't know how good-looking you are, you can get an audience in, and then you have something to say, and that's what keeps them there. But I don't think that's the case with everybody. I think that there are some YouTubers out there that are just bad and have so many subscribers, and I don't understand
them, Jack.
I would, but I don't want to, because you're scary.
The question wasn't, do you have to be good looking to be successful on YouTube, though? It was saying, it's easier for guys that are good looking rather than girls. But I disagree with that.
I agree because of what we were talking about, the audience split. Like, I think that it's true that many of guys are equally sort of shallow about these things sometimes. But as like, I know we were saying people like Smosh have quite an equal audience split, but I don't know about you guys like here. But for me, my audience is majority women, and a lot of the guys I've spoken to who do well on YouTube, it's kind of like a 70-30 split, mostly women. So I think you could say that, yeah, because of that divide and the assumption that like a large majority of them are straight, then yeah, that could be a thing.
Yeah, I think you can't deny the fact that, and this, I don't know what this means, but the biggest and most passionate audience of everything in the world is sort of like this 12 to 15-year-old girl range. Like that's just the biggest audience for everything.
Who's that in here?
Does anyone tick that box by any chance? Okay, 12 to 18-year-old girl. Yeah. Why is some of you too lazy to put your hands up? So yeah, like, and that doesn't. I'm not saying anything with that. It's just that is kind of true. Like, I mean, look at like the Justin Bieber's, the One Direction's. Like, they're the biggest audiences, and maybe not the biggest, but they're the most passionate. Just as a culture, they're just the most interested and in love with the things that they like, and so that's why, yeah, when a new boy shows up, maybe that they do rock out. I'm not sure. I don't know what it means.
I think so too, yeah, because like a guy could be equally, or a group of guys could be equally passionate, but they're not going to get it trending on Twitter because they don't care that much.
Yeah. Boys are really lazy when they like things. It's like, hey, have you seen that thing? Yeah, it's pretty cool. But, you know, like, we don't buy that many posters of things we like, but it does seem to be a much more female thing. Again, I don't know what that means.
Shall we move on?
Okay.
Got a question from down here.
Okay. What inspired y'all to begin posting videos, and who is your biggest influence on YouTube?
Should we go down the line for that then? Tom.
Oh goodness me. I love other comedians, and I've always loved the people who have made just really off-the-cuff random stuff, and I basically, like, my biggest influence when I'm making a video is just the stuff that I watched when I was stupid young and trying to make the things that a 12-year-old me would have found funny. But one of the biggest YouTubers I love is Britannic. I'm jacking your answer, Jack. But Britannic.com are like my favourite YouTubers. And now, Jack, would you like to say a different answer, Jack?
Sure. I don't know. It's hard. I started making YouTube videos because we make them because it's fun. That's it, really. When we write, I just go, oh, that made me laugh. Let's see if other people find it funny. So, and I don't know, I like Olin Rogers. I don't know if anyone knows. I like him. He's got a lot of heart and a lot of ambition. I like it. And he's more open about it. That's something I think a lot of YouTubers aren't open about, and which they love doing stuff. Just so, yeah.
Like Tom, I love Britannic, but that's because they're the best. But like also as well, like people like Ricky Gervais. But as far as YouTubers go, like there's a kid at the moment who is up and coming. He's just done a video with Alex Day, and it hurts me that he did a video with Alex before me. And his name is Miles. He is the shit. He is so good. He is so good. Like, he is so funny and naturally kind of talented at storytelling, but also extremely hilarious. And you should all check him out if you don't know who he is. But yeah, I'm inspired by all the people around me as well. Like, so Dean and Tom and everybody else like that who I see every day. Like, they always inspire me because like we're always together coming up with ideas, even if we don't think we are. So yeah, and I started making YouTube videos because I don't know, like
you didn't have a choice.
Yeah,
put it that way.
I started making videos because of Charlie So Cool Like, because I thought it was pretty cool. But well done, you did a joke. My biggest inspirations now are people like Daily Grace and Nasty Tran, Jessica Lee. There are a lot of people also that just kind of inspire me to do more with my videos instead of just, because I used to very much just put up whatever I felt like, and now I like to do things that I think will in some way change things. So that's what I like to do now.
I started doing it when I found that a lot of my friends were YouTubers, and I was both fascinated by it, so I wanted to document it, and I wanted to be a part of it, so I sort of wanted to have my cake and eat it. And I'd say Crabsticks was the first YouTuber who probably inspired me, and he's still probably the best YouTuber, and it's a great shame he's not here. But also Pleasant Ryan, Casper Lee, everyone on this panel. I mean, that's why they're here on this panel, are people I watched, and I love that feeling of watching videos that my friends have made and being both really proud and like properly jealous that they did it. Sort of proud, jealous,
You forgot the real
jowled.
Ben, you forgot the real reason why you started YouTube. Because you wanted to be crazy internet famous.
Oh yeah, because I wanted to be crazy internet famous, of course.
I think just like seeing a platform, YouTube, and it developed so quickly over the last couple of years where you could put content on, you have full creative freedom, and you can connect with so many people all over the world was you as well, just like both of us. And in terms of inspiration now, I can't even name one person. There are so many amazing people on YouTube that do so many different types of things that it's like a little bit of everyone.
Yeah, I agree. I think you've got to give it to Charlie McDonald as a huge influence in the world of a kid sitting in his room vlogging in front of a computer. Yeah, he was like one of the first guys doing it and absolutely smashed it and still does. So he was a huge influence for me. But also, the people I watch at the moment, people that are really themselves, like, do you guys watch Mitchell Davies? He's just quirky and fun, like, why not? I don't think he's afraid to be himself, and Crab Sticks, people like that. I think are really cool.
Yeah, I wasn't inspired by any one particular YouTuber when I first came across like vlogging as a thing. I was super fascinated by the structure of it and what it was the thing. 'Cause it's unlike anything else. It's like a weird sort of art form. It doesn't have, so when I saw it and it was establishing its rules, sort of 5 years ago, it was establishing getting into like a pattern. And my first thought was, okay, cool, I have to like ruin this and make sure that it doesn't like stick to any like, and trying to twist it and do weird things. And there are people who are doing that today, who are still like twisting the form and making it something new and cool, like It's Me Milo, who you should definitely all subscribe to, and Mitchell Davis as well. And I mean, that's still my modus operandi today, is just sort of taking this form that is so young and so malleable and twisting it and forcing it into new and interesting shapes and forms.
Well, mine's much less interesting than that. They've all given lovely responses, and basically my one is, I fancied a girl, and she fancied YouTubers, so I became one. Anyway, we'll take one last question. Needs to be a kind of quick one, we need to wrap up.
What has been your favorite thing about becoming YouTube?
Great question. What has been your favourite thing about becoming YouTube? Ben, would you like to start on that?
It sounds really lame, doesn't it? But like, just getting to work with people who were already friends, and it's always good to sort of turn friendships in the light and push them and put them in slightly different places and approach them from different directions, and you get to do that when you work with friends. But also some of the people I've met through doing Becoming YouTube, it is that thing of watching someone's videos and admiring what they do, and then getting to work with them, which is what happened with Tom, it's what happened with Jack and Dean. We knew each other a bit before, me and Tom knew each other. We didn't know each other before we did Becoming YouTube. And yeah, now we've got to sort of work together. And so it's that, it's the people I've got to work with. It's really lame, isn't it? But it's true.
As a viewer, I've really enjoyed it because I think you're a great example of someone who's completely challenged the format and doing like longer form content and doing a multi-part series, and also in answering questions that no one really wanted to ask. So congratulations, sir.
Thank you. I think we have.
But yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I would definitely love to. I genuinely would wish that Ben would let me just reshoot some of my interviews, and so I could just say them better. Like I don't hate nerd fighters anymore. And yeah, so that's me.
We've got 2 minutes, so anyone else who'd like to add anything?
I was watching my stuff back. I was annoyed at myself for some of the things that I said because my views changed so much over the course of like the year and a half between when it was filmed and when it came out. And I said dumb things like girls are a bitchy culture, and I just want to punch myself in the face when I see myself on the screen saying these things. But yeah, so I didn't change that much, but yeah, I definitely would have liked to have worded a lot of things better, like Tom said. Anyone else?
We all learned stuff.
I had no idea how big Becoming YouTube was going to be. So I literally, I've never met Ben before. He just turns up my house one morning. I didn't even shave. And like, he slouched in the sofa and he's just asking me questions. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, nerd fighters and whatever. And he's like, oh, this is huge. Whoops.
To be fair, like, I bet me and Dean would want to change some of our opinions, but I think Ben edited them out.
I've been quite kind to some of them.
He has said that our interview was his favourite, though.
It was one of my favorites.
Said that to me too.
Brilliant, well, we're going to have to wrap up now, so thank you for coming to the Becoming YouTube panel. We hope we answered at least some of your questions.